Week of November 11th, 2018. Yeah, looking back, it's been a really good week. The first part of the week, I was quite overwhelmed and stressed. Since confirming that I'll be doing a public speaking event once again on November 19th, definitely go into those periods where I'm just dealing with the anxiety and the fear that's coming up. And also just with life, moving house, um, getting another job and dealing with that. So it was quite overwhelming the first part of the week, but then I got some coaching from the awesome Diana Davis on Friday, and it's just how valuable coaching is for someone to hold space for you, for someone who has gone through their own processes of really living and moving in towards their higher purpose, their greater joys. Just helps and is so impactful for me, for people in my experience. So, such an invaluable thing that I know if I want to be doing more work coaching others, is making sure I get that for myself on a regular basis. Yeah, I also just finished watching the Transcendent series that just was released on November 1st here, 2018. The series created by the same creators as the couple that created Food Matters and Hungry for Change and many other products as well. And part of that, realizing just how important it is to nourish and feed my mind, my consciousness with inspiring, you know, energies, right? Like information, wisdom, people that have really found their path to that sense of joy, aliveness, and expansion, that purpose of being in service to first to oneself, first learning to heal oneself, and then through that realizing the purpose, the greater purpose of serving others and supporting in the healing of others, and through that our whole shared collective world and our shared consciousness. And there's been like some of the things that stood out from the series was definitely just how important what this human journey and choice to be human is, in that the first 7 years we are literally these unconscious super learning computers, because we're just taking in everything from age 0 to 7. Like in the series there was the Jesuit saying about show me a person's first 7 years and I'll show you the man, meaning whatever one learns in the first 7 years of life, that conditioning, those core beliefs and operating system will continue to cycle unless you know, consciously changed. And well, that's definitely part of, I know what my journey is, well, first of all, noticing how the lack of, for example, Asian representation in all these fields of inspiration, of spirituality, of, all the people that are creating so much change in the Western world, if you will, and how lacking there is in Asian male presence. And then myself being an immigrant, having lived my first 7 years in mainland China, so conditions very similar to North Korea, frankly, to those that don't really understand China for what it really used to be, at least, before it became the really big economic superpower it is. But still, so much part of it is still very much third world country-ish. So that's what I know, what my journey, what I intend to move towards is being willing to put my voice out there so I can open up space for more other, not just Asians or Chinese, but people from other cultures and other immigrants, who doesn't know that it may be possible to create such a sense of freedom and abundance and purpose and power and that strength and following one's intuition. So that was definitely a good reminder for me of what I've been inspired to move towards on my journey. That's why I'm volunteering to do these public speaking things, when really part of me knows I'm just a very normal person, just wants to, heck, I love my video games and just frankly movies and TV shows and music, and I was fine, just living, working a normal job and just enjoying all that stuff, but realizing perhaps that is my deeper purpose. So it's now the willingness to keep growing and moving towards that direction, seeing what it has waiting for me. And one of the other things from the series is that definitely that consistency in one's practice. Because I've certainly been inconsistently consistent for over 12 years now in various practices, spiritual practices, meditation, movement practices like yoga or dancing, and certainly the food, right? The energy we take within our gut health is so important. A reminder of that, you are what you eat, and just realizing so many of the things that are fed to the masses is one of the things that keeps the masses, diseased within the mind and the body. I know for me, just in my own experience, I just wanted to eat like most other Asians in Western society, which is pretty standard, go to Chinese restaurants, get all the processed junk foods, normal foods, right? The drink, the pop, have the sugary drinks. I certainly remember how I felt living that normal lifestyle. I was just sick and depressed and always in struggle. And it was really in my early 20s and definitely changing the way I eat did it start opening up to being able to really think differently and making different choices. So, this week really solidifying even more, just the more consistent I recognize I am with my personal practices that I know is good for me. For me, meditation, some kind of movement medicine like yoga, dance, strength training, qigong, walking out in nature, and moving joyfully throughout the day, right? And then breath and stillness, meditation, self-reflection, journaling, eating, more healthy foods. So all these things, connecting with people that I actually trust and I can actually be myself with. The more consistent I am, the better I feel, the more courage I have to move in the direction I know would be most exciting, fulfilling, challenging, invigorating, expansive, and what I know my world needs. Because it's definitely realizing for me, after going all through my teens and especially my 20s, wishing I can just find someone who I can just be myself with, who has maybe had the depth and the willingness to both have fun in the normal stuff, but also understand the deeper things of how we can be challenged and in pain, and that pain can lead to choices that may cause further pain. So definitely is for me realizing I get to choose to become the person I always wish I had in my life, earlier in my life. And that's the opportunity we have for this life. I definitely realize more and more is we are really all connected. We are reflections of each other. We are, just like that droplet of water within the ocean. We are the ocean. So any of us that chooses to live in our truth is helping to create more of that for everyone else, and through the active conscious creation of being in service can help open up greater oneself and then others, and gosh, there's a lot of joy and fun and abundance and purpose flow through that. So that's why I'm more motivated than ever to keep going, more motivated ever than to keep improving all of my relationships, especially those that are closest to me, more willing than ever to heal my family relationships. Had a great conversation with a good friend who helped me recognize that I am the source of love, if I want that in my relationship, for example, with my father, who I've had such a challenging relationship with, but this past week, I was willing, because I recognize how much I do love him and appreciate him, and how much I have learned from his struggles and challenges and suffering. So it's just recognizing the gifts that everyone in our lives truly holds there for us, perhaps particularly the ones that have caused us the most amount of pain. So, and it's that whole reflection process, because we're the ones that cause us the most amount of pain, truly. So it's that learning to forgive and then to love ourselves. So I'll leave it out there. Have a great one.